So every year there are new phone upgrades, new products announced by these companies. And most of the time we are in a minor generational change where the processor is changed, or maybe one of the cameras is changed on the high-end phones. But every once in a while, there's actually a generational leap, and that's what Samsung has finally done with the Z Fold 7. It's a generational leap over the very marginal changes in the Z Fold 6. Let's get into it. So there's quite a bit that's actually changed with this. Obviously, just at face value, there's a lot that has changed, especially how thin this device is. But what else has changed besides just the thinness of the device? Well, let's talk about the front first and go from there. So this is a 6.5-inch screen now instead than a 6.3-inch screen. It actually feels a lot like a standard phone now. It feels like about the size of a screen of a standard S25. So before, Samsung went with an approach to make the outside of the screen very narrow for one-handed use. It had its applications and uses because of that, but a lot of times you ended up always opening the phone to do your daily tasks. And it was just too often. It became a situation where the external screen just wasn't being used that much. That has been solved finally by trimming down the bezels and making it a 6.5-inch screen. That's pretty typical phone size screen for any type of phone, and it's good that they've finally done that. Of course, expanding the outside screen has increased the internal screen from 7.6 to 8-inch screen. So it's a little bit bigger inside as well, which is nice for those multitasking situations. And remember, on the Samsung phones for multitasking, you can actually multitask up to 3 apps at a time. Do bear in mind that 2 of them will be pretty small because one will be taking up one side of the screen while the other is taking up 2. But it's possible with the Samsung phones and the Z Fold lines in particular. But there's a lot more that's changed than just the external screen. How about the weight of this device? It is only 215 grams. That is substantially less than 260, I believe, has been the previous models. But the external screen isn't the only thing that's changed. The weight, even the weight of the phone has substantially changed. It feels like a standard phone now. It is 215 grams as opposed to 240 grams that it was before. It was pretty heavy, even for a folding phone. And this is a lot of criticism that Samsung has been under the last couple of years, especially from the other regions of the world where they've been making folding phones and pretty much making them vastly superior to what the US has. And that's because they're thinning them down and making them very light to make them feel like a normal phone, so that you don't feel compromised in any way of having that normal phone use when it's closed, but then being able to have the capabilities of it open and the size of a tablet when you want to do more with it, like gaming or multimedia. So it's good to see that Samsung has increased the size of the device in every way, but also decreasing the weight. But it isn't just about the weight being reduced as well. Look how slim this thing is now. It's hard to tell on camera, but look how slim this thing is compared to what folding phones used to be. They used to be a lot thicker than that. And we can even tell when it's closed, it's about the size or the thickness of a standard phone. It's pretty incredible what Samsung has done here to really finally reduce the thickness of this device, which was honestly overdue. Samsung had got themselves behind in the folding market, and there were other competitors that were ahead of them. But with this one, there are things that have definitely gave it notice again and made it a generational leap. But what else besides the screen and the thinness and lightweightness of the device has changed? Well, they even went and changed the main lens on the phone too. So now it's supporting the same camera as the S25 Ultra, which is that 200 megapixel main lens. So even the main camera, which was another gripe for me, that these folding phones, with how much they cost, they should be hitting that Ultra Pro model, etc. limit where you're getting the costs of the high-end Ultra phone or the Pro phone, but all those features packed into a folding phone as well. I get the folding phones are smaller, there's not enough space to put some of these larger lenses in, but we've got to progress and make it to where these very expensive phones are really worth it. Otherwise, the market share for them really won't increase that much. Of course, performance-wise is great as well from the benchmarks I've tested on this. It's running the Snapdragon 8 Elite, which is the top-end processor for the year. You don't have really any slowness to this device. Of course, being Samsung now, don't forget that they offer 7 years of upgrades. So you're getting longevity with this high price phone as well. One of the negatives to this is that they have increased the price of this device. And now the price is approximately $2,000, depending on your storage size requirements you go with. But now you're going to be paying $2,000 for a phone. When we before thought $1,500 was bad for a phone, and now we're at $2,000 for a phone. Now it is a folding phone and you're paying more for it because of all the features and capabilities and technology put into these devices, but it's still a high price. But what else is maybe not so great with this generation? And to me, it's one that's personal to me that I will definitely miss on this. I wish I could have the best of both worlds, this thinness and still keep this feature around. But I know a lot of you don't really use this feature, so let me know in the comments below if this is something you use and you will be missing it, or if it's not really that big of a deal. And what the feature I'm talking about is the S Pen. Due to reducing the bezels, reducing the layers that the screen takes, they had to take a couple layers out for that pen support. So now there is no S Pen support either on the front or the internal screen. So this is something I will miss. It was definitely a trendsetter, or a feature that I feel was a very large feature that set the Samsung phones apart. The S25 Ultra, of course, still has S Pen. We'll see. It might not in the S26 either. It literally has one phone that supports it now. The tablets do, but is the S26 going to go away from having S Pen as well? I hope not. But anyways, I hope this is something that maybe Samsung can bring back in future models. I really do like the S Pen on this a lot. It kind of, for me personally, bridged a way to be able to have this multi-purpose phone that could do so much, from your standard multimedia browsing to editing to writing notes on it. There were so many things I could do in one package compared to having multiple devices to accomplish everything that I needed. So I do wish that comes back. What else is not so great? Well, wireless charging is no Qi 2 or no magnets yet. It's still 15 watts. Which is good for wireless charging, I guess, but when you can get up to, I believe it's 25 watt wireless charging now with Qi 2 support, that's a letdown. I wish they would have put that in this model. Would have been able to help them compete a little bit more with another phone that just got announced that has it in it. It's in the folding market, so that's another thing I wish they would have done. They didn't increase the charging speed for the wired either. Now, obviously, OnePlus or parent company, Oppo, is kind of the king for fast charging. Now, it takes specialized charging bricks and cables, but you know what? Those phones charge incredibly fast, and I just wish there would be some middle ground Samsung could get to improve their charging speeds as well. And the zoom lens is the only other small gripe I have. It's a zoom lens. I'm not overly picky about this. Just having some type of zoom is good. But some of the competition has a 5x zoom where the Z Fold is still stuck in the 3x zoom. Is it that much of a difference? It depends on your shooting situation. Yeah, 3x to a 5x is a difference. And then of course your digital crop after that can make up for it, but it is all digital zoom at that point. It's not optical. So having that extra 2x does make a difference. And I wish, that's another thing that I hope in the future Samsung bumps up to, is maybe at least a 5X. But at the end of the day, this is definitely a generational upgrade. And depending on if you have a folding phone before and you've been using, like, let's say the Z Fold 5, you'll definitely notice huge improvements over this. Now, if you have the Z Fold 6 and you really don't care about the thinness or the camera and you really want to keep that S Pen, I'd say stay with the Z Fold 6 for this generation. But otherwise, if you've got an older folding phone, or even better yet, you haven't got into folding phones yet, this is the folding phone to get into. It hits all the marks. It feels like a normal phone in daily use, but then transforms into this tablet folding phone that is full of features and multitasking capabilities. You won't be disappointed in this phone. The only thing you'll be disappointed in is how your wallet looks after it. So if you have any questions about this device, anything specific I didn't go over, please leave them in the comments. I'll be there to follow up with you guys and answer anything. And until next time, I'll see you in the next video.